Oh, hello. Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome back for another video, another stream on the channel. September, autumn is coming. Time to make a statement. International break. We had 8 games on in League One during an international break. That was unheard of over the last 3 years. It's so nice to be here talking about a game week. Lots of good games. We had, I thought, 6 really good games indeed. And the other 2 games had goals in it, had drama. Wycombe got a victory. Rotherham got a victory. So much to unpack here on League One Live. But to join me tonight, I'm not on my own. It's got to be the co-host of all co-hosts as we bring him in to the stream. Hello, Jake, mate. How are you, pal? Good to see you.
Hello, Nat Dog. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, I'm okay, mate, actually. I had a heart attack during yesterday's game, but...
I had a heart attack at 3 o'clock.
What did you have a heart attack for?
Did you not get the alarm at 3 o'clock?
Oh, today, yes. Well, yeah, but that you should have known about that. That's been coming for weeks.
Yeah, but I was watching at the time. I was watching Bolton Wanderers against AFC Wimbledon to prep for this. And I was watching the extended highlights, and I watched it, and I was I was stopping it at a minute because I wanted to see the back line of Wimbledon, how they were shaped up to talk about. And I was like that, and my phone was on the side, and then I was right next to me, and it went right off my ear. Yeah.
You throw it across the room, bless you. Yeah, no, yeah, it was good.
It should have been on when Wigan came on.
Yeah, Wigan have scored.
Twice.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, I was the one saying that this weekend, twice, unfortunately. But yeah, no.
Story you do right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was good, mate. I had a nice chill Saturday. What did I do? I went and saw Chris. We had some nice sausage and egg baps. Lovely start. Went for a pint in the fan zone. Chilled out, watched the game. Went out and saw so I've got a friend in the Navy who's just come back from 4 months touring the seas. So I went and caught up with him.
I don't believe that.
Well, you saw it on my Instagram story last night, so you know it.
No, I don't believe that you've got a friend that you're going out with.
Oh, right. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. But yeah, no, it was good to see him. And then today, nice and productive, mate. Done some prep, and we're ready to go and talk about League One. How was your weekend? Because you're on comms at one of my favourite grounds in the EFL.
Yeah, great weekend. Hello, everyone. I'll come to your comments. Well, I'll come to him now, then we'll get into it. Parmex, hello, mate. Great weekend for you. Hello, Chris here, as always. Thank you for joining me, Chris. Always in the chat. Hello, Reese. Hope you are well. DRFC. Yeah, a lot to talk about here on League One Live this afternoon. Scott, hello, mate. Hope you're well. Hello to my favourite Lincoln supporter. I will be getting back to your message. Hello, Aaron. Hope you're well, mate. Good to see you in. I'll have to give you a message soon. Yeah, I love that. The Housery. Hello, Charlie. Okay, mate. Hope you're okay. Red card again. LA. Reese, hello. If you can all do me a favor, like the video, subscribe. We're close to 18,000 subscribers. It would do me a massive favor, so it's free to do so. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Yeah, good weekend. Set up for Nottingham about 8 o'clock yesterday. Got to the ground just before 12. I was a summariser for this only the second time on BBC Radio Lancashire yesterday. Obviously, the other commentary I do is for FDFC Play with updates for BBC Radio Lancashire. I've done 2 commentaries myself now, which is always grateful for the opportunity. Really enjoyed it. Lovely ground. We had little monitors in front of you. It's the first time I've experienced that, which for the first time they've only come in this week. So it helps you with your analyst. I normally take my laptop sometimes because that helps me watch it back, but it's normally about 30 seconds behind. It's a bit like Jake, Fire Stick.
Wow. No need.
No, the Fire Stick is in the room and they know who they are. That's all I'll say. I
do just need to do something now. I promised our good friend Ben Gill that.
Bear in mind, can I just say we are above this team in the league?
Yeah, bear in mind
we've lost less games than this team in the league, and they've just beaten Newport, Cambridge.
Ben, I didn't realise you were so hungry, mate. Because you've nibbled at that, haven't you? Jesus.
Let me finish. So, yeah, the commentary was ace. Great stadium. I won't get into it. It's not League One. Fleetwood did not deserve to lose that game of football. So yeah,
Oh dear.
I thought we deserved a point. Pete Wild banging on about a penalty. I've seen it. It's not a pen in my eyes. Then yeah, today been to the gym, trained, did a run. Got an ultra marathon on Friday, so just preparing for that. And I've watched all the extended highlights for today, so I'm nice and prepared. Let me know how your teams got on down below. We are going to start, and there was so many good games this weekend, and I was thinking, where can we start? And let's be honest, I had a chat with my mum before coming on, and she went, "Oh, there's only 8 games on, so you should be done after an hour." I went, "No, no,
it's cute, isn't it? Jill,
yeah.
bless your cotton socks, Jill, but no,
that's not going to happen." We'll start off with Plymouth Argyle 4, Stockport County 2, and Plymouth Argyle have been struggling in League One this term, but managed to get a really good victory over a Stockport County side that they have been a bit hit and miss, but have got a decent point return so far. They haven't blown anyone away, but they haven't been poor. Dave Challoner came out after the game, put a few of his players and had a go at supporters after the game. There was about 1,000 away fans travelling all that way, which is incredible, by the way. Plymouth Argyle have now won their last 3 games against Stockport County. Last game they won against Stockport before this was in 2004. Now, County, we mentioned, now only 1 win in the last 5. They've dropped 7 points from those winning positions in previous games. Yesterday, they got bullied, I felt. The first goal, is it a foul on Carl Wotton? It's soft, but there's a tug in there from Bradley Ibrahim, who I thought was absolutely outstanding. Everything that Plymouth did went through him, Caleb Watts, Talai up front led the line. He could have had a hat-trick. Set pieces, the second goal was absolutely sublime again, and Talai scored from a long punt up the pitch from the goalkeeper. What a delivery, by the way. Talai brings it down. Good centre-forward play under the Stockport County keeper. Great win for Plymouth Argyle. They needed it, let's be honest about it. And the second win of the season. It's been an eventful season for them. They could have had more, they could have had less. They had plenty of opportunities in the football match. Ballymumba stood out for me. I think Ballymumba, Talai, you look, Bradley Ibrahim was outstanding. Throughout the squad yesterday, I thought they all had a good game. And it was nice for them, for everything to sing off the same hymn sheet. The front four, Watts, Ibrahim, Mumba, Talai, outstanding. Brendan Woodoo playing a bit further forward. That'll help him. What do you think of the Plymouth display? And we'll come on to Stockport in just a minute.
Statement win is what I think of this Plymouth display. I thought they were brilliant. Completely dominant in pretty every facet of the game. This is as close to Tom Cleverley ball as I think we've seen from a Plymouth Argyle team this year. I think they're going to be exciting when they get it all right. And they've got lots of, the thing is, Ben, they've got lots of new compartments into the team, haven't they? You know, talking to players that haven't been there previously, Ashby Hammond, Alex Mitchell, Wiradoo, Watts, Ibrahim, and Talai. That's a big chunk of your team. And for them to, you know, they've had the poor start, they've now got the number 9 in. And what not having a number 9 does just allows your players behind the striker to free up a little bit. And it allowed Ibrahim and it allowed Watts and Mumba on the sides to just be a little bit freer. And they had that out ball. They had that ball at the top end of the pitch to get out of pressure when Stockport had them in, you know, penned in their own half. I thought they were brilliant, and the goals were outstanding. Yeah, you could argue there's a foul on the first one. Take nothing away from Caleb Watts. His strike is outstanding. Bradley Ibrahim, we saw last year for Crawley, can find the net. I seem to remember he scored an absolute worldie against Wrexham, didn't he? The one goal of the month. I think it might have been January time when Wrexham went there. Do you remember Wrexham went there and won? Yeah. Elliot Lee fouled their player in the build-up and they won 2-1. And then Lauren Tillart, look, I'm a goalkeeper. I'm all about, and look, we're going to get onto another goalkeeper.
I used to mention that, mate.
That we're going to get onto. Well, hold on. It's not quite you and your content award and you and running, is it?
So, I've not mentioned content award for ages, actually.
Well, for the first time.
That award, actually, all of them now won't say it just yet. There's an announcement coming.
Is there? There's an announcement.
Yeah. The biggest announcement ever.
Oh, God. You sound like Matt Farley. It's the biggest announcement ever.
It's the biggest ever game as they play like Hungerford Town in the pre-season friendly.
Or Crystal Palace under 23s in the Virtue Motors Trophy.
Yeah.
No, it was a great ball and it was a great touch from Laurent Tolai, the way he cushioned the ball down and slots under the keeper. Very good performance from Argyle. This will now be the bar because they're Plymouth. They're back in League One. This is the bar now. If they perform underneath that bar, they're going to be open to criticism. But they've seen now. The fans have seen they can do it. And look, they've still got a very decent squad. The players on the bench, maybe a little bit thin. Owen Dale, I think, was a really good addition on deadline day this week. He's a very experienced winger. Obviously, helped Oxford get promoted previously. He's had spells with Wigan at this level as well. He's been at Crewe. He's been at Pompey. He's pretty much Blackpool. He's been everywhere, Owen Dale. So
He's literally done the League One tour, hasn't he?
And do you know how I know? Because his missus is on TikTok. And to be fair, she's all right, but she makes some good TikToks. But yeah, no, it's a good signing, and you know they're starting to now look a bit of a force, Plymouth Argyle, whereas before, I mean, you look at who they've got the 2 wins against, Stockport and Blackpool. I think everybody has those 2 teams in the top 6 somewhere, so that's a decent start.
With Plymouth, I just feel they can do it on their own patch. I just feel when they go away, they're going to get rolled over a little bit, and I just hope we see a bit of a toughness, a bit of a nous, a bit of a real togetherness. And that's what we need to see. They need to build that togetherness, build those connections. On Stockport, I must say, I do feel they are a bit more gettable. And I know they didn't start the season too well. Well, they won the first 3 games last season. But after that, up to November, they were pretty hit and miss. And they weren't always around the playoff picture. From November onwards, in my eyes, you look bar Wrexham in Birmingham, they were the best side in the division. Consistency-wise, from about February, I thought, in my eyes, in the whole division, I thought Birmingham were in a different league entirely. But Charlton was then. And then I thought Charlton, Stockport and Wrexham were all as good as each other. I just feel this year, they've not got going, and they won the first 2 games against Bolton and Wycombe. And then the Bradford game where Bradford beat them 2-1 has kind of knocked them for 6 a little bit. The 1-0 up against Wigan last week, normally they'd see those games out and win at 2 or 3-0. They didn't. And the Burton game, they were 1-0 down, but Burton dominated that first 50, 55 minutes. Stockport did come back. Norwood scored a screamer, but it was a bit unconvincing for me. And then you look through the other games, it's a bit like they haven't been at the full best, and they're not seeing out games as much. And they are starting to concede a few more goals now. They've conceded 11 now, 4 of which was yesterday. I just don't think they look as convinced. The 2-2 draw at Leyton always a decent point. If you turn that victory away at Wigan into a win, the start doesn't look too bad. You look through the squad, though, it's got humongous talent, especially midfield onwards. In my eyes, I think there's not many better. You think Thevier, Moxon, Norwood and Osborne. It's going to take time to click with a low Diamond and Wotton. It's really, at the back, they look gettable with Pye, Connolly, who thought got bullied yesterday, Callum Connolly, at the back. Plymouth just got at them. They were outstanding. Dave Challoner calling out a few of the supporters. They've got Cardiff City next week. I think that one is at home. What better chance to go and make a statement against who has been the best side in the division so far, who are a bit more know what they're about right now. We've stopped with Cardiff there at the start of their process, but they're doing it really well. This could work one of 2 ways, where it goes really well, where you think, look that was a turning point, or I think that, I don't know. I'm just not convinced on Stockport this year at this moment in time.
Yeah, I would say they did, like you rightly point out, Ben. They did this last year, didn't they? And then
started beating our first 3, and after that, they 5-0 to Wycombe in November.
Well, yeah, I seem to think they came to our place and we turned them over, and then and Dave Challoner threw hands in his interview. He took Corey Dye off at half time in that game as well, and maybe started ruling the dressing room a little bit. I know what you're doing.
Our place, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, yeah, going to our place, Ben, as you pretty much frequent it as much as I do, nearly.
I know.
Mate. And then all of a sudden they clicked into gear, and Stockport fans were hoping the same, because if you look at it, I think the squad is equally as strong as it was last season. I think Nathan Lowe was an excellent addition, but they're playing him. They're not playing him as a number 9, which I think you're not getting the best out of Nathan Lowe if you're asking him to play wide. Jack Diamond, obviously, he's sort of playing. I suppose they're kind of playing in these inverted 10 roles, aren't they? But neither of them, I would suggest. Jack Diamond is an out-and-out wide player. Nathan Lowe is an out-and-out centre forward. And they've got the players like Odin Bailey, who's probably is more natural in that position. Malik Mothersill, probably better in that position as well. So, yeah, I get what you mean about Stockport. The performances perhaps haven't been at the level that we expect. But they were sort of declining towards the back end of the season. And I mean, you see the games in the playoffs, they didn't look quite at it over the two legs over Leyton Orient. I didn't think bar for 35 minutes in the first leg. I thought they were pretty naff over both legs as well. So, yeah, they got that game with Cardiff obviously next week. That's a big one. If they can get 3 points and make a statement, then fair enough.
The end of the season strong, Jake. Last year.
But, yeah, results-wise, but performances were not massively convincing of what I saw.
Do you not think that's down to they knew where they were going to be?
Maybe, but I still think it's a bit. It can also be an argument that the performances have been on a slight down trajectory since the back end of last season. I mean,
fever.
Well, yeah. Well, maybe. Look, we played them towards the back end of the season. We were 2-0 up, and I never thought we'd be 2-0 up away at Stockport ever. So maybe they're prone to this sort of thing. But yeah, like you say, a game against Cardiff next week, where you'd imagine. Well, I think it's going to help a few of these teams, Ben. Certainly, maybe Stockport now. They've got a free week. They've got a free week to work on things tactically, try and change the fortunes around, find the right combinations, and really attack this game against Cardiff. But yeah, it's not been the best of starts for County.
Interesting start. Plymouth Argyle, can they make momentum after this? Because after the Blackpool game, they didn't. They went back 2 steps. If you are new here, there's 68 of you in the stream. Please give us a like. Please subscribe. We want to try and hit 18,000 subscribers as soon as we can. There's some big news coming throughout the stream. So if you could subscribe, it would mean the world to me for all your EFL content. Doncaster Rovers 3, Bradford 1. Who put the ball in the Bradford net? As Billy Sharp, well, he pecks the chickens on the cheek as he scores for his beloved Doncaster to help them on their way to 3 vital points. And Doncaster's Billy Sharp has now scored in each of his last 9 league appearances against Bradford City, a run that began in 2006 with the Bantams, the second side who scored 10+ goals against in the EFL. Can you tell me who you think the other side are that are in? He's only scored 10 goals against another side, that also in League One.
Ooh.
They're a bigger outfit. They think they're a bigger outfit, but no, they're a bigger outfit.
Oh, Billy Sharp. Who's Billy Sharp got a good record against? Well, the fact that you've said that makes me kind of think that it might end up being like Blackpool or someone like that.
Yeah, you're bang on. You've got to think as well, Blackpool spent loads of time in the Championship. I don't know if you know this, but the other year in the Premier League as well.
Yeah, and you had a season ticket, didn't you?
I did, yeah, it was great days, yeah. Anyway, he scored, I think, 260 goals now in the EFL, which is absolutely vintage. Another player arrived.
Don't. I've got one stat this episode. If you take it...
Mate, everyone knows it. Let's be honest. I won't take it. Don't worry. Doncaster Rovers, they scored 9 goals, and I mentioned this last week. They only scored 6 and won 4. They scored 9 and won 5. They are winning tight margin games of football, but yesterday I thought they were very, very good again. They're so solid, especially at home, and they just have Bradford's number, don't they? Bradford go there every year, and you think, is Bradford's time going to win? Doncaster Rovers actually beat Bradford 2-1 in April last year, confirmed their promotion spot, and obviously
come on, Rob Street.
And they've been unbelievable at home since. They've won 7, drawn 4 since February. They've not lost, and they've been really, really good. They've only lost 1 of the last 17 league games, and unbeaten in the last 11 now at home, winning 7 of which. Yeah, they've been outside. And one thing I like about this Doncaster side, they've added a good number of players. They've added a good quality of players. 7 of Doncaster's 11 that started yesterday started the league game in April. And I know it's only a 4-month swing, 5-month swing, but when you get promoted, there's normally a high turnover. Doncaster Rovers have stuck with it. There was a lot of Bradford players that were on the bench yesterday that played, but 4 of Bradford's were in. So Bradford have swapped their team a little bit more than Doncaster's. You look, and you can kind of see that it's Doncaster know what they are. Bradford have been outstanding so far this season. They've been absolutely mustard, especially at home. I'm not going to judge them on one bad defeat, but I think the praise must go to Doncaster on this. I think with Doncaster, they're not actually creating too many chances. Only 4 teams have had less shots on target per game than Rovers, but only 4 teams have conceded less expected goals against than Doncaster. So being tight at the back, maybe but taking their opportunities, so they're outperforming the data. But they've got real good players of quality. When you look through that squad yesterday, there is humongous talent in that side. They've got a lot of flair, athleticism. They've just got a good squad all over. And Owen Bailey, I think he is one of the best players in the division. He's a captain, he's a leader. Broadbent with him outstanding. The front four, Molyneux, Clifton, Gibson, Shot, they make it work. It's not outstanding, but they make it work. Fullbacks, Maxwell and O'Riordan, outstanding. Experience in Pearson, McGrath next to him, Donny Bourne and Bread. Lototala, look, he did his best to hand Bradford a goal yesterday. Will Swan scoring in 4 consecutive games for the Bantams, the first player to do so since Naki Wells. Great victory. I love the way Doncaster play. Grant McCann is seriously building something at that football club. Huge win. How far can this Doncaster Rovers team go? Because we mentioned about the sides we're beating. This is a big scalp. Derby Day against a good side they came up with.
Yeah, I do still get behind the point where I think Donny is still riding momentum a little bit, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because.
But a lot of teams do that and go back to back.
Well, steady. Because I know there's a certain Doncaster Rovers fan in here that is waiting for me to go all in on him, and I can see him there, Ben. He's been on at me for weeks saying how good this Doncaster. Well, not weeks actually. Ever since
how good's Owen Bailey, Ben?
He doesn't shut up to me. He doesn't shut up to me about Conor O'Riordan. He says he's put in the
crew, wasn't he?
That he was. He was one of the best centre backs in the league. Which, look, I still draw these comparisons to Mansfield last year. I think they're doing the job against teams that if you want to be a mid-table team, which I think is the aim for Doncaster this year, despite Grant McCann making all the shouts about the playoffs and not here to make the numbers up. I think Doncaster will be a middle-of-the-road League One team this year, which is for where they were when they got relegated, in 21-22, I want to say they went down. To be there 3 years later is a real achievement. 4 years later, sorry, is a real achievement. I have been impressed. I do think that the lack of number 9 is what concerns me. Billy Sharp, I love how he's experienced. I know that it's great, and I know I'm a massive hypocrite because we've got experience at the top end of our pitch. But I don't know if I'd back Billy Sharp to do it over a full season. I back him in moments. Billy Sharp is that type of centre forward where he's really good in certain moments. Whether his whole game, I'm unsure about this lad that's coming from America. Look, I think I think they've made a really good start to Life in League. I think the fact they have a little bit more time and space, that I think that they've got what Doncaster do, certainly under Grant McCann, is recruit technically brilliant footballers. I mean, you look at McCann, you look at Bailey, George Broadbent, who I think has been quietly also one of the best players in League One this season, without making the shouts that maybe Owen Bailey is doing. So I think this Doncaster team can go as far as they want to go. Do I think I think a good season for Doncaster would be our spiritual home, 11th. I think that'd be a good season.
Yeah, I'd say top 12.
Doncaster, if they can finish top 12, I think that'd be a really good season. I'm intrigued to see how they get on against the better sides, the teams that are more fancied. Maybe the Lutons, your Argyles, maybe your Cardiff, Stockports, etc. But I certainly think they're going to have no issues sweeping aside. Do you know what, Ben? As much as they remind me of Mansfield this year, I don't know about you, but they give me a little bit in terms of the style of football, but the fact that they're able to win games at this level again. A little bit of Stevenage when they first got promoted.
Yes.
Little bit.
I think they're better than that, though. I think
technically better. Technically better, and I think their ceiling is better than that Stevenage team. But the traits of winning games early in the season to get yourself that momentum, and when you do win games early and you do put yourself in a great position, sometimes players can outperform themselves and play at levels that fans and pundits don't perhaps expect. So, yeah, I'm a massive fan of Doncaster. I'm a really big fan of what Grant McCann's doing, and I think they stand every chance of hitting their goals this year. They're a really good outfit to watch.
I just hope, again, if Doncaster, say, keep this up for, say, 15, 20 games, and they fade away and, say, finish 10th, they don't look, and people don't say they blew it, and they've had a good season. They've had a really good season if they finish inside that top 12. I think they've got quality to do it. You only need to go through the squad yesterday and who wasn't starting. You look at the bench. You think that Hanlon, Close, there was no, Robbie Gott. They've Brandon Hanlon on the bench, Middleton on the bench. You've got quality there now. One thing I will say, I think Doncaster did Bradford, where they didn't have a lot of the ball. Bradford dominated proceedings, had a large percent of possession in terms of the dominance, but they didn't really do much with it. Doncaster were effective. They were much more front-footed. They were much more in your face, got the ball forward quickly, like Bradford always seemed to do. And my question about Bradford is, when they dominate a game and they have large portions of the ball like they did in League Two, and they have to be the one that are dominant and they have possession, can they break a side down? They've been very good so far without the ball. It's easy to play football without the ball at times. It's easier. But when you've got the ball, when you're a side and you're maybe not used to it, they had 60% of the ball yesterday. They only had one shot on target, and that was a tapping from 2 yards out. So that is my only worry about Bradford, that Alexander always starts seasons outstandingly well. Look, it's a good season for Bradford if they finish in the top 12 again, like Doncaster. But I just now think that how will Bradford? It's only one defeat, so I'm not going to go harsh on them. I just wonder if it's going to be a Bradford thing where there's maybe a bit of a phase off, like there is always with Graham Alexander. It seems to be. That's the only thing I'll say. But Doncaster were outstanding, and Bradford had a good start to the season. They'd have taken this at the start of the year. Great victory for Bolton Wanderers. Bolton 3, AFC Wimbledon 0. And a game that you need to kind of watch and look at before you look at the kind of the scoreline and think Wimbledon were battered. Sending off to Brown killed the game. Bolton Wanderers, though, were outstanding yet again. They dominated proceedings. You only need to look at the shot map. They absolutely murdered Wimbledon's box, who are normally so effective at their box defending. They don't let a lot of stuff come into their box. That they are one of the best in it last season in League Two, and why they got promoted. And they're now unbeaten against AFC Wimbledon in their last 7 league meetings, which is a good statistic for them. Look, they're unbeaten in 6 now, Bolton Wanderers. They've only won 2 of those. They drew the previous 4. And I said, you turn those home victories into victories against Lincoln and against Reading. They've had a really good start to the season. And I felt that with the way they were playing, the expected goals, the shots on target they were having, they weren't creating lots of good chances, but they were probing, and there was opportunity before they were making opportunities. It just wasn't quite threading through for them. And eventually it will go your right way. And I will come to it. Sometimes when you play well, you're not winning, you can kind of go, that's a worry. But when you are a team like Bolton, it will eventually click for you. Overall, I think it's been a strong start to the season. It's 10 points. I think they're not losing games, which is important. I think they'd have probably lost to a Barnsley, a Blackpool, and a Lincoln last year. They picked up 3 points. Yes, they would have wanted 9. I thought they were really good yesterday. 2 sending off, so Marcus Brown and Joe Lewis. Lewis was later on. But it was the attacking talent at this Bolton Wanderers side. Burstow, Cozier, Dewberry, outstanding. Randall from an attacking midfield role. I said on TikTok, Jake, in my video of how fresh this Bolton side look. The Baxters, the Santos, the Gethin Jones, the Dion Charles, the Aaron Collins of these worlds have now left the club, who have done well for them in the last few years, but ultimately failed. And when it's come to big moments, that team has failed, and it needed a refresh, it needed a restructure. It had a new manager, it had the same players. It had a massive hangover there. You look through it now and you think it's got more to come in. He was outstanding last year on loan at Wycombe. Simmons, a new boy coming in. Cozier, Dewberry, Randall came in January. Thierry, Gale, Burstow. It's very fresh, and it feels like Bolton are at the start of a new manager, a new lease of life. The ever era is pretty much gone now. There's no real hangover. I'm liking what I'm seeing from this Bolton side. Yesterday were great, created a lot of opportunities. Type of game against 10 men of Wimbledon he might have drawn 12 months ago.
Yeah, I do get that, but I think the thing with case with Bolton Wanderers is, I think when you bang on the door as much as Bolton Wanderers do in a game, you're always going to get opportunities, and it's physically impossible for a defense to be able to concentrate for 90 minutes the way that you have to concentrate when you're playing Bolton Wanderers. They zip the ball. I saw it the other week. They play the ball around so well, and that all stems from your midfield. When they're playing against Wimbledon, what they're able to do is they're able to play an Aaron Morley. They don't have to rely and a Joel Randall. You don't have to rely on playing two defensive midfielders because Wimbledon aren't really going to provide you with that much of a threat. And now they've got the depth in there of Morley, Sheehan. They've got Randall. They've still got McAtee and Arahan. Adding to that, the likes of Force as well, Sam Dolby, Sissoko, all these attacking players. They're able to play. When you're able to play more attacking players, you're going to create way more opportunities. And Bolton have been able to do that. And yesterday was an example of how important it is for Bolton Wanderers to get the first goal. When Bolton Wanderers get the first goal, once they've knocked the door down, it's so much easier to take it off its hinges. You can bash it and you can bash it again. And they were brilliant at doing that yesterday. Once they got the first one through Mason Burstow, who reacted really well to the ball pinballing around. Once they got that one, they looked comfortable and they never looked like they were going to lose or at least draw the game. I think Marcus Brown helps him out a little bit on his way. Horrific tackle from him. Probably deserved 2 red cards purely on its own. But even with extra men, when you've got the quality that they have out wide, when you play against 10 men, Ben, Nigel Clough said this the other week, you want to get the ball out wide and make them work. You want to make them run side to side, tire them out, and that's what they did really well. Kozia Dubry getting the goal, Joe Randall as well. But the assist, look at where the assist come from, Ben. Dakwas Cogley and through Max Conway, your fullbacks. You get the ball out wide, you see results. So, yeah, I think they're much better. It's a much better. This will give them so much confidence going into, like we said with Stockport, a completely free week in terms of, you've got no Carabao Cup distracting you. You've got no Virtue Trophy distracting you as well. So, yeah, really good performance. Really happy for Bolton. As much as our mate Dave Nash says I hate Bolton, I'm glad they've got this sort of performance because we said it after the draw with Reading and with Lincoln, in fairness as well. This sort of performance and result was coming. We said that a week ago, did we not? After they played last week, we said Bolton are going to whack somebody. And I think it could have been more than 3. But 3-0, clean sheet, win the game, confidence is high. Burstow scores again. Kozia Dubry is looking dangerous. Joel Randall, that will do a lot for Joel Randall's confidence as well, by the way, because he's a much a confidence player. So, yeah, a good win for Bolton. Sorry to drag it on, but yeah, really impressed.
Yeah, great victory for them. For Wimbledon, there'll be there'll be bumps in the road. And games like that will happen when you're in League One. So far for Wimbledon, in every game they've been in, every single game. I think that's one thing they can pride themselves on. In every game, the Luton game, they were disappointed not to get a point. The Cardiff game, Isaac Davis scores a late goal. Bradford, they lost 3-2. Yesterday, they lost, 3-0 with 10 men. There will be bumps in the road, and it's how they bounce back. It's important they now don't go and lose 4 or 5 in a row. It's important that next time you pick up a victory or pick up a couple of points, pick up a point a game and just try and get back on track a little bit. You've lost to Bolton away. Be proud you're playing Bolton Wanderers in a league fixture is one thing I will always say. If you could do us a favour as we go into our 4th game, please subscribe. We're just over 200 subscribers away from 18,000. It's free to do so. If you could all go down there right now, press a subscription, like the stream, it would really help me out a lot. A game that I do actually want to talk about quite a lot, and I'll let you go first on this, Jake, is Port Vale 2, Leyton Orient 3, where Port Vale have now failed to win any of their opening 7 league matches of a league campaign for just a second time. It's the first time since 1967-68 where the Valiants also lost their 7th game. Talk to me.
Well, you know what? I feel with Port Vale, Ben, I feel a little bit out of place really because I've had so much stick off them.
I'm going to speak about them in a minute.
And they told me that fair play. Devante Cole's got a goal and set one up right, but he tends to do well at the start of things. If Port Vale fans take their mind back to Barnsley when they lost 7-0 opening day, I'm pretty sure Devante Cole looked unstoppable. And then he slightly tails off towards the end. No discredit to him. He's a lovely footballer. I'm sure he's a nice bloke. somewhere. But yeah, I'm not surprised. Leyton Orient, this feels like a turning point in Leyton Orient season, Ben, just to make it about them a little bit because they won the game. It feels like a turning point. You know, when you get these goals, 90+ minute, it's a winner or it's a goal that gets you something, and it can take you on a really crazy run. I mean, to go back a couple of years, Irahan's goal at Wycombe, look what that did for Lincoln the back half of that season. Maybe this just Charlie Wellens goal, who's contributed now twice in the last 2 games. But yeah, a fantastic win for Leyton Orient. The goals I thought were all well taken. Good for Don Ballard to get his first goal for Leyton Orient. That's normally a big weight off the shoulders of a new number 9. So for him to come in and score is great. But I think I need to give props to Josh Karoma. I thought he was outstanding. He had Port Vale defenders absolutely quaking in the boots, and he's got the biggest threat. What if you ask any defender, Ben? Well, no matter what level you play at, Sunday League, Premier League, what's the one skill or trait that a player can have that you would hate defending against? Pace. It's pace and directness. Josh Karoma's got that in such abundance. He runs at defenders. Yeah, and he was absolutely outstanding. He was fantastic. So a good win for Port Vale. No, not a good win for Port Vale. A good win for Leyton Orient at Port Vale. For Port Vale, I don't know, Ben. Where do you stand on Port Vale? I know you want to do a piece on them, and but I hate to sit here and go, I was right on Port Vale, because I don't want to be right on Port Vale, because I enjoy my trips there, especially when we score 6 goals. I enjoy going to Vale Park. It's a good away day. They've got the best security in the whole EFL. I'm sure you found that out as well. You get nice and tapped up at Vale Park. But yeah, I do feel a little bit like I was right about Port Vale, Ben.
7 games in, right? Okay. So I would see August as a write-off. August is your start. August is your honeymoon period. August, I don't really want to talk. It's hard doing shows in August because teams get excited, teams get disillusioned. So when your teams do bad, it's only August. When your team does well, oh my God, what a start. It's important that we start quick. And then there's other teams that, oh, it is important we stay in shape. I don't like it because there's so much going on. In September, I went on the radio yesterday and called it Statement September, where basically September is where you stop. It's like a game of chess. You start making your move. Where the first few games are over, you got 4 games in the month of this month. Where the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, the 27th. It is Saturday till December. Bar EFL Cup games, which don't count in the league. I don't think there's a Tuesday game week till December in League 1 and League 2. So it's important that the small squad, they can get a victory and reset. Go and make your statements. Go and win away a big. So Plymouth yesterday made a statement by beating Stockport.
By doing the non-negotiables.
Yeah, we'll come to that. And I think that you need to go to these big grounds and get victories. And if you can do that, people start. Walsall did it last year. It didn't work for them in the end. But Walsall in September till December, start of January, were absolutely out until they lost to Bradford. And then Fleetwood, and then it fell to pieces for them. It was, they made the move in September. And a lot of clubs do it. I think that Leyton Orient did that yesterday. They were outstanding. They scored 3 goals. You talk about the royal family. Richie Wellens is the royal family to Leyton Orient. His son's scoring the winner, him as manager. And what I love about Leyton Orient is that he got promoted, and both the 2 seasons before this, I think in November, in November last year, they were in the bottom 4. The year before, I think they were bottom 6, bottom 8. I think they were averaging 16 points from 16 games. They weren't great. Both seasons, I think they finished 9th or 9th or 10th. 9th, I think they finished in the first season, and then playoffs last year, getting in on the final day with that win at Huddersfield. So it's a great victory for them. The goals, look, Port Vale were okay again yesterday. One thing I will say, Devante Cole was outstanding yesterday. I've got my personal thing. I don't think he's a good footballer. I think that he will score goals for Vale, and if that's what they need, then fair play. He worked tirelessly yesterday. Everything that I said he wasn't, he did yesterday. So I will give him full credit, and I hope he's like that full time. I hope I am wrong on that. And yesterday, in one game of football, he was outstanding. So I will come on here and say, look, I was potentially wrong on that, but it's one game of football. It's a small sample. I want to see that from every week from Devante Cole. Yes, you're not always going to score, but he made so many good runs in behind. Vale yesterday was really good in the attacking sense. He had so many opportunities. They scored the goal, they hit the bar, they had a couple of good saves from the goalkeeper in goal. And they were really, I thought they were really competitive once again. In all their 7 games, the Rotherham game, they lost by the odd goal. Reading, they lost by a bit of quality by Paddy Lane. The Cardiff game, they should have won, they drew. The Stevenage game, they were 1-0 up after 87 minutes and they lost it. That was the turning point in my eyes, the mentality issue. The 2-2, they're getting a point they concede late. So realistically, they're 4 points. The Stevenage game and the Leyton Orient game, they should be picking up. The Rotherham game, yes, I can write that off. The Reading game, I can write that one off. But they've been competitive and they have been good. You look at the metrics, expected goals, 10th. Expected goals conceded, 16th. Shots on target, 30. Big chances missed, 3rd. They missed the 3rd most chance in the league. Expected goals in the game. So if you have an expected goals of 1.1 and the other team has a 0.9, you get 3 points on that measure. Game by the 8th. So they are probing in games and they are having chances in games. Yesterday they scored 2 goals but didn't win the game of football. My worry for them is when we start winning, well, if we keep playing like this, we'll win. When you Port Vale, realistically, how many times this season are Port Vale going to play well when you are in a relegation fight? Look, they want to come in and finish mid-table, but when you come up from League 2 and the business I think they did is going to be a bottom 8 or a bottom 10 finish, which I thought they'd be 18th onwards, if I'm honest with you. So they're still just above a relegation fight. You're probably only going to be good maybe 15, 20 times a season. You need to get points out of those because the other games are kind of like you're looking to get. So you need to, when you've got smaller sample size to get points, where Bolton are probably good 30 times a season. So they've got more sample size to get points, where Vale will be good 20. So they've only got a maximum of how many points you can actually realistically get. You can win games when you're not great. So that's my issue with Vale. Yesterday, they had chances. The goalkeeper, Morosi, I thought was poor. I'm looking at the fullbacks as well, and there's an issue there. The 3 goals they concede are absolutely criminal, by the way. The first goal is a ball down the side. It's an easy crossing right, and Connolly is there. The second goal was a ball on the floor that rolled and trickled, and Connolly tapped in. The third, they broke forward. I know Vale trying to get forward and get for a winner.
The ball away, though, didn't they?
The overlap or underlap, whatever you call it, on the other side was so obvious, and they're all so tight defensively, ball watching, and they weren't watching the
4 of them. Man. I've just seen it back. There's 4 of them all still within 5 yards of one another.
They're in like a little box. It is so poor. For me, Headley is an issue there. Headley is a real issue there for me. I don't get it for me. They have got quality in the squad. My issue is the longer this goes on, the longer the mentality issue happens. Because I think at Vale, quality isn't an issue. Because I think they've got more than that. They've got Stockley to come back. They have got good players in that squad. They've got experience. Ronan Curtis, Mitch Clark on the bench, Ojo, Pate. They can add a bit of quality. I just think, for me, their issue is mentally. Do they believe they belong here? Do they believe they can compete? And as soon as they get that win, it's going to be important. I want Vale to survive. I have bad comments from Vale, which I'll be honest with you, it hurt me because I've always been nice about Port Vale. And I'm like, I think people were trying to dig at me that I did something against Vale, which I haven't. I've genuinely got nothing against Port Vale at all. But yesterday, we saw glimpses of the Vale of 2 years ago come out where they were catapults of their own downfall. They were yesterday, and they make their own mistakes. And I'm sick of saying everything suggests that they should be a better side. You're judged on points. You are judged on points at the end of the day. And other teams are being a bit more effective and Reading can find a bit of quality from that. And that's the difference. The longer this goes on, the more I worry for them. The next 3 games are absolutely huge. They've got Exeter and Mansfield as the next 2, followed by a trip to Oakwell. They need to get a win out of that. Then you are thinking, where's it coming from? That's all I'll say on Vale. For Leyton Orient, outstanding. The attacking threat is always there. You know they're going to score goals. They're such a fun team to cover here on League One Live and League One in general. I hope that's the start of their season. It's been a bit up and down so far, But you do feel like they will start getting back to some mirage. They've got Bolton to come at home. That's a big game for both football clubs. Looking forward to that next weekend. Jake, I'll let you start off with Huddersfield 3, Peterborough 2.
Well, you're letting me start off with all the bangers today, aren't you?
I need a break, mate. I'm knackered after that.
Thoughts and prayers with Joe Taylor after his horrific miss. Did we see it?
Yeah, he went. But one thing, and I can't believe I'm doing this. This sounds like I'm being you. Look at the way he gets through. His intelligence to get through and break.
No, that's not me. That sounds like that's more like Sue, not me. I'll put this, Ben. I think if Joe Taylor's in a red and white shirt, he probably scores that rather than a blue and white shirt.
You know, so he's getting better. Like
he is getting way better. And
he's creating chances for himself.
I am. Yeah. Well, both him and Alfie May have got 4 goal involvements over the course of the season. Obviously, Alfie May popping off the bench and as well as Joe scoring. But yeah, no, I did think they were good. I thought they were fantastic. Ben, you've already had this conversation with me earlier today. Will Alves. I've been on this Will Alves hype before he joined Cardiff for about nearly 18 months now. He's a phenomenal player coming out of Leicester's academy. The jewel in their academy is so technically gifted. The way he moves the ball, it's quite easy. It's quite easy on the eye the way that he plays football. So yeah, really good for him. Thought Lass was brilliant yesterday in what he did going forward. He made the assist for the first goal. Castledine, look, the options at Huddersfield have got are outstanding. And that when Joe Taylor puts them 3-1 up, that's probably the scoreline that they probably deserved, I would say. For Peterborough, Ben, I thought they were better. I don't think they were brilliant, but they were, they lost. But they weren't, they were better than what they had been over the last couple of weeks, probably by that draw with Bradford. They showed a little bit of something. Obviously, the goal for Morgan, which is basically a deflection from a free kick, which he runs off and celebrates like he's tucked it in the top corner himself, which I absolutely love. Your mate Kean Hayes getting on the score sheet as well. But they are starting to look better. The players that they have brought in to help this group, the likes of Tom Lees, the likes of Tom O'Connor, Jacob Mendy. I thought George never had a decent game despite them conceding 3 goals yesterday. I think Leonard, for the money that they've paid for him, he's going to have to deliver at some point as well. Garbutt's an international footballer. They've kept a hold of Collins as well. So, yeah, I think Peterborough are getting better, but they just come up against Huddersfield, who, despite perhaps being maybe at 60%, if that, still ran them out a little bit ragged. I still think there's a little bit more to come from this Huddersfield team. Like I said with Bolton, I'm expecting over the next couple of weeks Huddersfield to beat someone 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 goals, maybe. The quality that they've got is absolutely absurd, isn't it?
You think you're going to beat them on 8-0?
Wait, it happened. By the way, your mate's the Blue Noses lost 8-0 at home to Bournemouth, so I think it's realistic.
I forgot about that.
I'm pretty sure Southampton lost 9 in the Premier League to Man United as well.
Obviously, we're going to win a game 8-0.
I could see it.
I'd love it against Leyton.
I wouldn't. Joe Taylor hat trick. Sean Rowan, and Joe Taylor.
Danny Cowell comes back to be gaffer.
Yeah. That would be fun. I do think they've got it in them. Like I say, I think not as a criticism, but I think the longer they get together, the longer they play together, I think they're really going to be something special. I think they're going to be able to rival, what Birmingham achieved last season. But you're talking about players coming off the bench: Will Alves, Leo Castledine, Alfie May, Kasumu. Murray Wallace just played like 300 games in the Championship, just casually coming on for Jack Watmore. So, yeah, look, brilliant. Huddersfield were fantastic. Peterborough better, but still feel they've got a bit of a way to go if they're going to finally get that first win of the season, which I know is coming on the 27th of September.
You know something? I did a TikTok on Peterborough, Huddersfield that I've not released yet. It's going to go out tomorrow. And I went through the fixtures and I looked at it, I thought, That's their annual win, isn't it? They always beat you at their place.
Don't they?
But one thing I like about this Huddersfield team is, yes, they are a new group. I think I looked through it just now. I think only Ben Wiles and Tom Nichols was there in the Championship or above that started yesterday. Ruben Rooson's come in recently. Marcus Harness has talked about the weight of pressure. Getting a goal, he's been providing, but not quite got that goal yet. Will Alves outstanding yesterday. Joe Taylor scoring goals again, which is good to see for him. You look for the squad, there was no the likes of Feeney yesterday. Kasumi was on the bench. Alfie May on the bench. Murray Wallace on the bench. Leo Castlentine. They're having to drop players to fill it. They could realistically put 11 subs on if they wanted, which is squad depth. Sometimes that goes against you. Some statistics for you. Since the EFL rebrand in 2004, and I don't like this stat one bit, Peterborough United are just the 7th side to pick up 1 point or fewer from their first 7 games of a League One season. 4 of the previous 6 were relegated, with 3 of these coming in the last 2 seasons. Cheltenham, Fleetwood Town, 2023-24. They were rough times. Cambridge United, 2024-2025. Fleetwood did win their 8th game of the season that year, I believe, with a 1-0 win over Leyton, Orient, and backed up with a 2-0 win over Cheltenham. Cambridge United obviously struggled. I think Peterborough United are better than those sides. They've got quality, but it's not mixing. Darren Ferguson came out and said they were the better side first off. They never shot on target. Yes, they had more of the ball, but yeah, well done. Second half, they get the goal from a free kick that takes a deflection. Huddersfield scored 3 goals. They could have had 6 in that time, where it still felt they were 6 or a 7 out of 10. A consolation goal late on sums it up, really. And it was close against Huddersfield. It wasn't bad. It's 3-1. I think that sums the game up a bit more. I'm worried about this Peterborough group. I think they've got quality. There are very, very good. There are very good players in that squad, but they're not a good team at this moment in time. And I just don't feel like it's mixed. And I don't see a focal point in the forward area. Morgan and Leonard, yes, they're working the socks off, but there is quality throughout that squad. I thought Lolos had tidy feet yesterday. He created a little bit for them, but they weren't great. Peterborough are in trouble at this moment in time. I think they need that first win. Huddersfield are getting there. They're getting stronger. They won the first 3. They won 4 of their first 4 home games with an aggregate score of 9-2. Last time they did that, they won 4 games in a row. They kept 4 clean sheets. So in this season, it was the 2016-17 season where they got promoted. So good start. Peterborough, though, 14 goals conceded in 7, which is worrying. Before this little bad blip that Posh are now on, they lost 8 of the last 9 in League One, going back to last year, with a 1-1 draw at Bradford, where that was a late goal. Conceded 20 in the last 9. No win in 12 for the Posh. 4 draws, 8 defeats. Before that, they'd only lost 1 in 9. So they were turning a corner after a bad period. Now it seems, you look at the last 12 months, last 10 months, it's been really bad, especially on the road. It is a concern of mine for Posh. Lincoln City 2, Wigan 2. Lincoln now have failed to win any of their last 6 league games against the Ticks. And Lincoln, although against opposition like Wigan, have been a lot stronger at home. I remember me coming on here saying the home form is a concern for me. If Lincoln are going to progress, they need to make the bank a fortress like it used to be. Over the years, getting promoted into the Football League and getting into League One, no one wanted to go to Lincoln in Lincoln City to play a game. No one wanted to go to Lincoln in general, to be fair, because Jake's there.
You love it.
You know something? I was saying to Phil yesterday, and it was making me sick. Oh, I love it when I go to Lincoln. It feels like I'm going home when I go to Lincoln. It feels like my spiritual home. I feel safe when I go to Lincoln. I love it. It's class. Got great. I'm thinking, and you've got great quality, great cuisine, great. I'm thinking, oh my God, what have Sue and Jake done to me? Like, I'm not liking this. Lincoln, they've only lost 1 of the last 11 home league games. That was a 2-0 defeat to Wrexham, who went up. But one thing I like about that, yes, they drew yesterday. They're winning more often than not. They're winning 6 of those games. They have drawn the last 2 games. It was a real good game of football yesterday. I'll let you go through it. I know you've got a certain stat that I'm going to leave out, but I want to come back to that stat that I think you're going to come back on about that certain someone.
I know you did. Yeah.
Because we had a chat about it before. Me and Jake haven't actually had a phone call like we normally do. We just texted before. Yeah, it was a real eventful game. It's one of those games that could have been about 4-4. A lot happened, and it was a really, really good 2-2, wasn't it?
Yeah, and apparently this is what Wigan do pretty much every week under Ryan Lowe. So I mean, their fans must be grey and almost dead by the time the season's going to be finish. But yeah, really entertaining. To be fair, I thought Wigan started the better. They scored a goal, a great assist from Sam Tickle. I'll admit it's a wonderful kick, and Paul Mullins on his bike. Could we defend it better? I think Sue's going to kill me. I think George he comes out and he goes back, and then he comes out again. I think if George comes out and gets the ball, he clears it. And I don't think the goal comes in. I apologise, Sue. But then we get a foot back in the game. Admittedly, there's a penalty decision, which I think the play. Look, that's not a penalty unless it's your team getting it. Because, and I'll tell you why. Because the rules have changed this year, and according to the new rules, that is definitely a penalty. Whereas we're so ingrained with the old rules of, oh, that looks dead soft. But according to the new rules, I think it's a penalty, and I think the referee had to make a statement because Christian Sadie is stopping Riley Towler from getting to where he wants to go, and therefore, go on.
Would it be a penalty? You know, with these rules, if
yeah,
the rules
yes,
was
I know you're about to
white
say
shirt went over in the Lincoln box, would that really be a penalty?
Listen to me. Very good. When Fleetwood,
penalty, I agree with you.
It's according to the new rules, it's a penalty. If a Lincoln player does that and doesn't look at the ball when it's coming in, I'd say you're an idiot. You know the rules. Christian Sadie gave the ref a decision to make, not for the first time in the afternoon either. But to be fair, before we got level, they should have been out of sight. They had countless opportunities. George makes a couple of good saves, a couple of really good blocks in there from Adam Jackson as well. Wigan very, very wasteful. Really, really poor in front of goal, which I was surprised about given how well Mullen took that chance. But James Collins does what James Collins does best. That's now goal 200 and 201. Ben, I'm sure you know the other. We've already spoken about one of the other players to have scored 200 goals since 2004 in League One, League Two, and a champ. Do you know who the other person is?
What's that? Sorry, you cut out.
So there's only three. He's the third. James Collins becomes the third player to score 200 goals across the champ, League One, and League Two.
Really sharp.
Yeah, do you know the other one?
He scored 219, hasn't he?
No, 220.
Yeah, and
I think you know it. Hey?
Paddy Madden?
No. He has played for a team that you support, though.
Can you summon it down, please?
They play in Tangerine.
Blackpool?
Yeah. Had a really good scoring spell at Blackpool not too long ago. Really good.
Oh, Jordan Rhodes, yeah.
Jordan Rhodes, yeah. But yeah, James Collins does what he does best, and I'm sure that's who we're going to have a conversation about. But yeah, then the ref decides to make it all about him. I thought his decision making was poor all game. When you have both set of fans saying you don't know what you're doing, you've been pretty poor. I know he's got previous with Wigan. He was actually the referee, Ben, for that game. Remember against Huddersfield that we went to last year, where for their equaliser, he rolled the ball into their lad, and then they went and scored pretty much from the drop ball. So we have previous with him as well. So I mean the two red cards. Christian Sadie, I don't think Christian Sadie can argue about it. Rob Street, I think, can be a little bit more hard done by, not because he's a Lincoln player, but the first yellow is quite soft. The second yellow, don't do it while you're on a yellow card. If he's on a yellow card and he does that, he's an idiot, in my opinion. Rob Street is a prat. There was some really... Look, the game, when it went to 10v10, was really entertaining, like a game of basketball. They hit the crossbar with Dario Costello. Ben House had one, cleared off the line. Oscar Thorne came on and looked particularly good on the right-hand side. Looking forward to seeing him bully left-backs because he's certainly going to do that at this level as well. So, yeah, it was a really entertaining game. I walked out and I didn't know what I'd watched. It was that balmy. It was that good of a game as a neutral. But, I mean, for a Lincoln and a Wigan fan, living through it, it was absolutely balmy. I think I've aged about 40 years. But, it was a really entertaining game, and I think a point was probably the right result.
Yeah, we don't talk about Lincoln on this channel. Fleetwood played yesterday. No, I'm joking. Lincoln yesterday.
Oh, they did, yeah. Sorry, there they are. Look, just one past.
Yeah, bear in mind we've only lost 2 in our first 8 games. Yeah. Lincoln again on James Collo. He's really settling into life at Lincoln City now, and he's one of those types of players that where is he? Is he even playing? He's quiet, pops up with a goal. And yesterday, his 2 goals, good penalty to be fair to him. The second goal is a really nice, neat finish. People going to tap him from 5 yards, 3, 4, 5 yards out. But he just flicks it over Sam Tickle
Goal scoring
intelligently. Yeah, gets in a good position and makes it for himself. He scored 14 in 27. Now, he made his debut for Lincoln City on the 25th of January. No other player in League One has scored more goals than James Collins. And I said that to you when, do you reckon there is since January? Since the actual 1st of January, obviously, since that period, James Collins wasn't a Lincoln City player at this point. Only Davis Keeler-Dunn has scored more on 15. Davis Keeler-Dunn scored on the 1st and the 4th of January. But since his arrival at Lincoln, I think that there's no one other than him that scored more goals. I don't think there's better number 9s in the division than James Collins. I said that too, yeah. I think it was an unbelievable pickup for Lincoln City. If James Collins played for Huddersfield, if he played for Bolton Wanderers, if he played for a Cardiff City, they'll go, oh, we won't want him, we won't blah, blah, blah. But if he was having this goal record at their club, it'd be talked about, but he's not. He plays for Lincoln City, so he's not fashionable enough, let's be honest about it. But he scored 200 goals at different football clubs. You know, he was outstanding at Luton Town. In my eyes, the best striker. He was great early on in his career at Shrewsbury. Derby County made an impact there. I don't think he really settled to life at Derby. I think that being at Lincoln, I think it's a good life for him. I think he's a main man, and I feel that he likes that. Whereas at Derby, the pressure is, if he doesn't score, he's had a bad game. If he scores 15, it's not really appreciated. If he scored 15 goals for Lincoln at the start of this year, you're quite happy with that. If he gets 15 goals now from a Lincoln POV, you're disappointed. And that says the standard that Lincoln have got. It was a good game yesterday. It had everything. I agree. I think on Rob Street, I thought the first one was never a yellow card. I thought that's a yellow card. The game's gone for me. The second one was clumsy. It's a yellow card. Christian Sadie, I don't think should have been off the pitch either. I think that was a yellow card. So I think
really,
yeah, I think I genuinely I don't think it's a red card. I think that I don't think either. But again, I thought I'm enjoying watching this Lincoln side. I think they are one of the youngest, freshest sides in the division. I think they're entertaining. I think they're going to be great to watch. I think that you look Street Draper, Rico and Colo all up front. Colo, what am I doing?
I just want to caveat it. When Sonny Bradley's back in the team, I think if we had Sonny Bradley in that yesterday, I think we'd have won the game. But yeah, Sonny Bradley's such a big part. And now Riley's suspended, he'll step back in. And hopefully Adam Reach, who's looked really good over the last couple of games as well, will step in.
You've got a left back in the building. You rally. And it's hard work watching a centre, a left centre half at left back, isn't it? Yeah, I'm watching one at left wing back. It's hard.
It's not fun.
It's not fun at all. But no, good game between two sides. I think Lincoln are just a little bit in front of Wigan right now at this moment in time. I like the fact that the first goal from Tickle, long direct kick into Mullen in behind. And I think I liked it more that Paul Mullen scored after all the crap that you gave. And I think he'll score at least double digits of goals. He's got 2 goals back-to-back away games for him.
Yeah, by the way, have you seen that? 2 of his 3 goals that he scored for Wigan have been scored in the 10th minute. And he wears the number 10 shirt.
Wow, yeah. And the other one was 88th minute. Callum Wright talking typical number 8s, number 10s. Again, had a good game. I'm going to say this now. Callum Wright will play for Lincoln in the next 5 years. He's a very Lincoln player.
Callum Wright?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've tried.
He's a very Lincoln. I think John Marquis is the most Fleetwood player that's never. So let me know in the comments, who's the most type of player who's your type of player but never played for your club? John Marquis of Fleetwood.
Yeah, I will give credit to Wigan, Ben, if I can, because I thought they were very good. The way that they
scored 10 goals, Jake, in 7 matches. Way much than what we got last year.
Yeah, way better than last year. The way they go forward, the danger. Christian Sadie, before he was a pillock and got sent off, was very dangerous, really dangerous. Mullen running off him. I thought Hungbo was decent. I thought, even though he fell over when there was a gust of wind behind him, bless him, but they look better. Ryan Lowe is going to take Wigan Athletic somewhere,
Mm.
and that somewhere is probably going to be in the playoffs in the next. I'm going to be safe and say 3 seasons. They'll finish in the playoffs at least once. They're a good side.
I agree with you. They're getting better. They're a lot more fun. They're a lot more better to what last year felt so flat. Now you think they've got goals in the squad. You think that Murray's been good since coming in, right? And Trevor can get Mullen and Sadie. And you look at the bench, you say likes of Session can great. Costello did well when he came on. He had a good opportunity. I think obviously you both had a good opportunity to win the game after it went 10v10. They had one through Costello. You had a decent chance. I think Reach
off the line,
which was a good block, and you can feel it to get. So there were good chances. I thought George Wicken and goal made a couple of good saves towards the end. He made one strong hand. It should make it for quality of
GG. Do you mean GG?
Yeah, I'm calling all your players nicknames like I support them like you won't believe. But no, I feel that he is a real project manager for Wigan. I feel like the excitement's building. I feel that there's going to be bumps in the road, but I feel there's going to be a lot of excitement. I feel there's going to be a lot of good moments for Wigan, and I feel that there's belief there. With Maloney, they never really believed. They went to these places and they felt they could. I think could will turn into should and would and will. Under Ryan Lowe. That is the difference. You've got a winner there in my eyes there. Moving on. Wycombe 2, Mansfield Town 0. Wycombe Wanderers become the 22nd side in League One to pick up a victory. Welcome to the party, Wycombe Wanderers. It's their first win since April 2024, where they won away at Bolton. They lost 8 of their previous 11, drawing 3 of those. And their last 5 victories since March have all kept with clean sheets. There's been a lot of change at Wycombe Wanderers, squad-wise, player-wise. It was nice to see Corley Woodrow back in an EFL game. It's his first goal in football since his goal in the Premier League against Crystal Palace in 2024. In the space of 18 months, well, nearly 16 months, he's now in League One. He's scoring against Mansfield Town. So it's a bit of a drop-off from grace, but he'd be glad to score goals again. 2 new arrivals, scoring 2 goals for the Chair Boys in a game where this time they didn't have a large portion of the ball like they have been doing, and they didn't have a lot of shots on target, but they took the chances this time in a relatively flat game. Good victory for them. For Mansfield, they've now conceded at least once, one in every of their last 17 league away trips. That's got to change for Mansfield, because you feel that if they keep a clean sheet, they get at least a point, and you'd always back Mansfield to 8 times out of 10 score 1 goal.
You know, your mum said, "Oh, it's only 8 games. You'll be like an hour tops." We've done nearly an hour and 10. We've done 6. So big up Jill.
But these next 2 games are a little bit.
They are. Great win, like you say, for Wycombe. Sam Bell been a really tricky customer. I seem to think he's had a loan spell at Grimsby previously. Looked good there. Gone back into the Bristol City setup, done okay off the bench here and there, but needs regular minutes if he's going to become the next Antoine Semenyo out of their academy, who's an absolute baller in the Premier League, by the way, Antoine Semenyo. So, a fantastic goal from him. Really, it was proactive, wasn't it? His goal, the way he took it, the way he was stiffening that area to get the chance and score. I thought Corley Woodrow as well. This penalty, it's good to see him on the score sheet again. He's been lethal at this level before for Barnsley, so good to see him back amongst the goals. I thought Mansfield. This is their problem. Creativity now is Mansfield's issue, in my opinion. I feel like they've got the goal scorers, they've got the finishers in the likes of Evans, the likes of maybe Gardner. Dom Dwyer's proven it in a Mansfield shirt as well. But I look at that team that started on Saturday, and I wonder where the creativity is coming from, maybe outside of the fullbacks, because Blake Tracy and Carnell both get forward and contribute as well. But in terms of Reid, who's very much do the simple, basic job very easily. McLaughlin, again, probably a more defensive-minded midfielder. Mariah Walsh, George Maris, and I think it's Luke Bolton, isn't it? Perhaps when we see Tyler Roberts fit and up to speed, we might see that might be where their creativity comes from, because he had a pretty decent spell last season at Northampton. So, Mansfield will be disappointed, but for Wycombe, great win. First one on the board. Style of play is not brilliant, but you just got to win games. And now they've won one. I think we could see Wycombe maybe go and win 2, 3, 4.
That's all they needed. That's first win. Sometimes I'm not going to use the analogy I used last year, Jake. When all I'm going to say is when you get your first of something, normally it gives you a platform to
no, I agree.
go on and go and play. That's all. It was so nice to see George Abbott, who, in my eyes, I will say it, and I think I'll get a bit of hate for this. Did he get the most goals last year in this division? No. George Abbott, in my opinion, was the best player I've seen in League Two last year. He was outstanding in League Two. He was a young kid on loan from an academy at 19 last year in League Two. He came in. You thought he was going to get bullied, this lad. He was absolutely outstanding. Lee here in midfield. Had a good game. Look, it's a bit of a fresh face for Wycombe. They've got a good squad. Van Sassen, goal, Grimmer, Taylor, Allen. It's a good back three. Harvey and Huggins and Abbott and Lee in midfield. They've got a really good team, and it just takes a while. I think that style of play will take a bit of time to get used to, but they limited Mansfield to very few opportunities yesterday, and they won the game. It was a typical home victory for Wycombe that they'd usually get. The thing is now for them, it's a platform to go play. They've got Peterborough away. They can hopefully go and get at Northampton at home. They've got Barnsley and Wimbledon to come, Wigan and Blackpool before Huddersfield come to town. It's now about the next 4 or 5 games. You've had one moment in the sunshine. It's now about not now things will turn into a rainbow because it's going to rain again. It's making sure that sunshine stays out and it stays consistent. And there's not a wind of gale out there, a Thierry Gale, that come and blow up in the face.
I'm Gale.
Yeah, exactly. So Dwight Gale. So like I say, so it was Gale Platt.
I've got an anti-Gale. Does that work?
Yeah. Pillock. It's I think for them, I think they are a good team in the making. They've got good players. I just think it needs to stick them. They need to be good at home again. And there's positives there. For Mansfield, there's going to be bumps in the road for them. Wycombe are underachieving for what they are. They're expecting. So the team's underachieving in terms of expected goals. And I know I hate using this metric, but it is a thing at the end of the Bolton, Wigan, Wycombe, Port Vale are all massively underachieving. Mansfield have had a good start to the season with picking up those points. My issue with Mansfield is they can go and easily win 3 on the road, but I can feel like they can go and lose 5 on the spin. It's those periods where if you don't win, don't lose. Pick up points. And I think that's the issue for Mansfield. I think at times they can go through spells. You've got to see that game at Vale Park in a couple of weeks is a massive game because it could sink Mansfield into it. And then it could, if they go to Vale Park and win, there's huge pressure on Darren Moore there. And then the mentality, which they've not won a game by them. Next 2 games for Port Vale are massive. But yeah, Rotherham United won Exeter 0. Big win for Rotherham. That they've only won 2 games of football this year, and they've been, to be fair, they're unbeaten in the last 6 home league matches, winning 4 of which, last having a longer run between April and September 2022. They are strong at home a lot of the time. But sides like I hate using the sides like Exeter and Port Vale that come to town, they've beaten. So for a Rotherham side that we were quite concerned about this year, it was important that Rotherham United pick something up. They haven't been great this year. They remind me very much of Stevenage and Wigan, but worse last year, where they're very flat, they're not scoring many goals, not creating many chances, and they're very much cope without fizz at this moment. It was important they got the victory yesterday against an Exeter side who, yet again, Exeter go away from home. They've not created much. And if you look at Exeter's away games this year, and I know sides like Exeter who are going to be down there, it's important that you look at these metrics. Away at Northampton, they were 2-0 down after 18 minutes. They only had 1 shot on target. At Wycombe, they won 1-0. Wycombe battered them. They had 1 shot on target. An own goal won them that game of football. And then you look at their first way, they lost away at Exeter, where they didn't have a shot on target. They have been really, really poor away from home. And that's a stat that I looked at before, and I'm thinking, that Wycombe game, if they don't win that is kind of covered cracks in my eyes away from home. But the victories against at home, especially against Blackpool and Peterborough last weekend as well, are big victories for them. And that Wycombe one was a decent win on the road. But I'm worried about this Rotherham side on the road. I thought, Rotherham were excellent. We'll get onto that first, where they didn't really test the keeper enough, but they had a large portion of the ball. They had a few shots. Expected goals was high. but they came up against a really poor Exeter side that didn't create much. And you look at the creativity, they just never really felt imposing. It was a perfect fixture for them, really.
Do you know what? I felt the goal perfectly summarised where these two teams are at a little bit. Exeter silly mistakes on the road, basically gives the ball to Denzel Hall to score, and Rotherham being unable to take other opportunities unless one is literally put right under the nose so they can smell it. So yeah, I do agree with you, Ben. Rotherham, for all the possession they had, Exeter, like we say, they're the perfect opponent, certainly because they don't travel very well. But you still need to beat these teams. There are teams higher up the league that Exeter will get something off by purely being resolute and hard to beat, and they've got a good goalkeeper in goal. So it's good that they've been able to beat them at home. They need to, it's a real 6-pointer. Certainly looking down the bottom of the table, Exeter, Ben, I don't know about Exeter. I'm a little bit indifferent on them. I like them some weeks. I don't like them other weeks. I thought they were they defended really well. Besides the one chance they gave up for the goal, but I don't know. It feels like Gary Cole was not going to run out of time. Maybe I feel like if they lose, I don't know. It's really difficult, isn't it?
I know what you mean. Do you mean this? Let me come in here a little bit. Do you mean I felt this with Scott Brown in the season he was at Fleetwood, where I'll be honest with you, that was the least enjoyable year I've ever had watching Fleetwood, and we got relegated the next season. Right? Yeah. I enjoyed that season more because I saw more goal and I saw more of a front foot. What happened with Scott Brown is we'd be 1-0 down, we've had no shots on target. I think Ipswich was, I know you unweighted, we were awfully battered. It should have been 6, 1-0, and we brought defenders on at 1-0. Keane has a shot from 30 yards out. He nicks off 3. I think it nicks off Humphreys and Wolfenden and flips over the goalkeeper and goes in. And then everyone's going, "Oh, stop that!" I'm like, we were awful. And the next week we'd go and beat Cambridge 1-0 in the last minute. I'm like, then we lose to
get away with it a bit.
I feel as soon as the questions start to come, which is good from an Exeter point of view, you want to do successfully. You don't want to sack your manager. But I always feel that he always times a victory at the right time. He always gets the right backing, and it almost feels. And he is a good guy. And I think he does a good job at Exeter. And look, they've got 9 points from 7. It's a good return. Away game, that game against Port Vale at home next week is 2 sides that need a victory. That I know Exeter are on 9 points, and it's too early to say. But I just feel if Exeter lost that and Vale won it, that would platform Vale, I think, 100% into the game against Mansfield. And I think they'd go and win that. I just think Exeter are a side that there's a slide coming. They always go on a bit of a slide after the first 8 games of the season. After the first international break, it's always like that. And It's important now they don't fade away. Is that what you kind of mean? He always finds a win at the right time.
Yeah. He gets out. He always finds it. He always pulls a get out of jail free card to essentially get himself out of trouble. And yeah, I don't know. They do confuse me, Exeter, sometimes because they were so free flowing some weeks. Blackpool, Peterborough cut them apart, and then other weeks they look toothless up front. Josh McGuinness practically ineffective. Obviously, Jaden Wareham as well, who's had a decent start to life at Exeter, but yesterday was pretty much a passenger in that game. Right, I think that's us. That's 8 games covered in.
Great.
In 78 minutes.
But I've liked this game week. I've been much more relaxed. Today I've been able to watch every extended highlight. I've prepared better than I usually would. I've not done as many stats, just watched games of football. We're 5 likes off 50. So if you could all go and do me a favour, give the stream a like. It'd be massive. And also, we're so close to 18,000 subscribers. So I know I keep asking, but go down there now. Come and subscribe. Lots of one videos. Jordan Davis, every time he had 2 free kicks very close, and I believe he's quite good at free kicks. Tom. So I'm happy. It's good training for us.
Do you want to know how we got on in predictions this week, Benny boy?
Go on then.
Bit of a crap week for the pair of us, to be honest. 4 and 3 in your favour. So
I pulled a point back.
Yeah, meaning that the gap is now down to 3. Ben, you're on 42 and I'm on 45. So we're going to start with next week's fixtures. We're back to a full round, which I know everyone's going to be absolutely ecstatic for. Ben, we're going to come to you first for Northampton Town against Blackpool in an early kickoff at Sixfields. Such a hard game to predict that.
When I say that the game is gone Why is Northampton against Blackpool on an early kickoff?
So it gives you a chance to watch your first team before you watch your second team
Yeah.
at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm doing an ultra marathon, so I might still be doing that at that point. I might be able to. I'm not. I'm finishing it at a certain time. I don't get it. For me, I'd go one from each league every week, and that's enough. I think it's stupid. Anyway, I'd rather have an half-5 kickoff. I'd have an half-12.
Yeah, like
and an half
Bromley Gillingham
Yeah,
yesterday.
that's class.
It's a great game as
Half-5
well.
are great.
Yeah, great game.
Northampton, Blackpool. I think Blackpool. There's something coming with Blackpool. I speak literally on the before. I was at the gym and there's a Blackpool fan, and I was running. And he poked me when I was on a run. He goes, "You knackered?" I went, "Yeah." We had a chat about Blackpool, and he was talking about Bruce and thinking Blackpool going to get better. And I agree with him. I think they won here last year. I think they got a good victory here at the back end of last year that kept their playoff hopes alive. I'm going to go 2-0 Blackpool.
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to go Cobblers 1, Blackpool 2, I think.
Okay.
Just narrowly getting a win. Bradford City are going to peck the Terriers on Saturday in another early kickoff, local derby at the at Vale Parade. Ben, me to go first on this one. Bradford have been really strong at home. They've beaten Leyton. They've beaten Wycombe at home. They've got. I think they stand a chance. Huddersfield, if Huddersfield turn up at 60%, I think they'll end up losing. So, and it's an early kickoff. I'm going to back a Bradford City 1, Huddersfield Town 1.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to go for. I'm going to go Bradford 2, Huddersfield 1. I'm often when these sides have got this unbelievable home form and a derby comes up and it's like, not now, like, because that's a game that's going to end. You eventually not going to win a game of football at home. It's going to, but I think it'll carry on, and that'll make it 3 defeats on the bounce away from home for Huddersfield. I think Blackpool lost 3-2, lost obviously away at Barnsley 3-1, and this one I just have a feeling I can't wait to get abused for that.
Coming to you, Ben, for Wigan versus Doncaster Rovers.
I'm going for Wigan 2, Doncaster 1. I think a good victory on home soil for Wigan. I think Doncaster, won't get found out, but I think that there's a game like Bradford had their moment of bad news. I think there's a moment coming for Doncaster.
Yeah, I was going to go 2-1. I'm going to go 3-1. I think they've got goals in them, Wigan, but they do concede as well. So. What next? We've got Stockport versus Cardiff. Again, I seem to be getting the tricky ones to call first off here. I think Stockport, like we've mentioned, I think Stockport make a statement. I'm going to go Stockport County 2, Cardiff 1.
I think Stockport will come out firing, but I think Cardiff in the last few weeks have made statements. Away at Luton was the biggest one. I think that the one they'll win away at Luton was the biggest statement. The 4-0 at home to Plymouth, weirdly, just to go there and dig out a win. I think the break might have not destroy them a bit, but I think they'll go there and IG Park and win. I think Stockport 0, Cardiff 1.
Interesting. Coming to you first, then, Ben, for Peterborough United versus Wycombe Wanderers. Are we about to see the 23rd team pick up a win?
I go for Peterborough 2, Wycombe 1.
No problem.
We're not underestimating Donny. If you go back and watch my point on Doncaster Rovers, we're saying
we're both pretty hyped.
We've picked them to lose one game of football away at Wigan, who are a really good side. You're not going to win every game of football. Honestly, the comments sometimes really. I'm like, we're not underestimating you. People take it so personally.
I'm going to go Peterborough 2, Wycombe 0.
Why are you predicting Wycombe to lose? Keep underestimating.
Yeah, I know. I'm going. They're the best underdog in the country. Right, Mansfield versus Stevenage.
I've got a prediction in my head.
Okay, I'm going to go Stags 1, Stevenage 0.
You absolute tool! Oh, I'm going to go 2-1 Stags. I can just see it being a frustrating game where Stevenage don't really have a shot on target and Mansfield just batter them. I think there's a game coming for Stevenage where they don't where they just get battered, basically, but don't lose it. I think 2-1.
Ben, coming to you for a championship fixture last year in Luton Town versus Plymouth Argyle.
Let's see, Stephen. Let's see. Plymouth, Luton, Plymouth, yeah.
Yes,
2-1 Luton.
I'm gonna go 3-1. No, I'm gonna go Luton 3, Plymouth 2. Bit of a humdinger. We've had a 3-2 most weeks now, so I think we're due another one. Leyton Orient versus Bolton. And it's a shame, really, because I put Leyton Orient before Lincoln because I like to just reverse what Parmex is going to put for Lincoln's prediction and just flip it on its head. But I genuinely am going to go for Orient 1, Bolton Wanderers 2.
Orient 1, Bolton 2. I'm going for 1-1.
Cheers. I know what's coming with Parmex now, so he gets to do it to me, I suppose. Ben, Exeter City versus Port Vale.
This is a massive game.
Big one.
I'm going to do Exeter 0, Port Vale 1. Devante Cole will score the winner. I genuinely think they will go there, be tight defensively. And I think a bit like Oldham in League 2 against Cambridge, that victory is coming. You can't be that dominant in games. It will come. I think Vale will win 1-0 this weekend. And if it doesn't, I'm worried for them.
I think it's going to go the other way. I'm going to go Exeter City 1, Port Vale 0.
Okay.
I think they'll be clinical. Burton Albion versus Lincoln at the Pirelli. Well, we've already won there once this season. Am I going to back us to win there twice? They're really poor, aren't they, Burton Albion? I'm going to go Burton 1, Lincoln 1.
I go Burton 0, Lincoln 2. Honestly, I really like this Lincoln side. They've lost 1 in the first 7. They're an exciting group, this lot. We've got good players. And I think the thing is with Lincoln is...
Can I change mine?
Yeah.
Can I say, I think 2-1.
Lincoln, I'm going to go 2-0. Right. I really like this Lincoln City group. And I just think at this moment in time, I'm going to similarise with Fleetwood a little bit. There's a bit of, can we? Can we do this? Can we just get this win? And a lot of games, I've simplified going to games recently of first goal wins. Just that first goal matters, really does matter a lot of the time. And I really like this Lincoln City group. I just think that there needs to be a mentality belief within the fan base and within the club that they can go and compete. That off the pitch, they do things so right. On the pitch, the team might not be as good as a lot of others, but I think they've got a top 10 squad. And I'd like to see Lincoln be up there this year, mate. I think, you know how I feel about Lincoln as a club. I think great club. Burton, I like them as well. But I do think that I worry for Burton this year a little bit. And I think that I hope Lincoln get the 3 points. Oh, my God, I can't believe. Honestly, I was making him feel like I say, going, oh, if I live near to Lincoln, I'll get a Lincoln team. He goes, if you went to Lincoln Uni, would you be coming back to Fleetwood? I went, no, I get a Lincoln season ticket.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, he went, I bet yes, not knowing anything. He goes, I bet yes, Sue's the type of person that if you lived in Lincoln, you'd come back about 9 stone heavy. I went, well, that is a thing, yes. She went, she's a feeder. She's a feeder.
She is. And she's a good feeder as well. The food is good. Right. Ben,
9.9 out of 10. She needs to keep working and keep baking just to keep making sure
different combos. Yeah, I agree. Reading versus Ben. Barnsley versus Reading at Oakwell.
Oh, you need to keep baking to keep making sure you improve. That's not a fact. I want more. Barnsley against Reading.
Yes, sir.
2-1 Barnsley, mate. 2-1 Barnsley.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2-0.
I like Conor Horan's Barnsley.
So that do you mean Conor Urian? That's
Urian.
Is it? And then finally Rotherham versus Wimbledon. Again, I think this is pretty much similar to the game they've just played. I think it's going to be Rotherham 2, Wimbledon 1.
Rotherham 2, Lincoln 1.
No. Funny boy.
Rotherham 2, Wimbledon 0.
Fantastic. Well, there we go.
Enjoyed that, mate. Good show. Any questions? Let us know. Get your thoughts in. Please like, please subscribe. It'd be appreciated. Lots of league busy week for the channel this week. Something coming very soon. On Monday night, me and Jake sat down and recorded League One transfer reaction, and there's a few comments.
We got a bit of stick, didn't we?
Yeah, so that went up Tuesday. That was a really quick turn. Let the window close. Well, we needed it out Tuesday, and we were filmed at 8:30, so we can only judge on that. And it's like not one sign what's going to change too much in my eyes at that point.
Yeah, but Jake Rooney signed for Barnsley, Ben. That should have done something.
I know. Well done. There's a reason we can't get to the Derby squad. Then we added League One roundup with Jake the day after, like 2 days later. That went up. Like 3 days after the video went up Thursday. Then I recorded with Jack Kershaw League 2 roundup, which did great. That was a kick in the teeth. And then today, so plenty of content, and we've got a League One video hopefully coming out this week. So that's going to come out. So busy week. Great week in training, David. Absolutely. Look, we got done by the non-negotiables yesterday, and we got non-negotiables.
Can it just show the levels, mate? This week we've both played Notts County. Our reserves beat them 3-0, and you lost 1-0. Your first team.
Yeah, fair play.
What I believe,
right?
I believe is how's the view from up here?
Sorry. The difference is, I'm respectful. I've been nothing but nice about your club. I've not dug you out. I've not slagged you off. You've come to be what you have to understand is, I am the protagonist. I'm the one that winds people up, right? Do you know what I mean? Right. I'm going to say this, and I want everyone to give a bit of love for Jake. I've filmed with numerous different people who are all great at what they do, right? Jake, I want to listen to our videos back, and it's actually a pleasure to listen to Jake back sometimes. And film with Jake is so easy, so smooth. He gets his words out clearly. I genuinely don't think there's many better than this man on shows like this, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves. And I messaged him out the other day, and I genuinely mean this from the bottom of my heart. So I think there's a bit of praise needed in this chat for Jake, because he turns up every week.
Apart from last minute.
Yeah, exactly. When you got slamming doors, but we won't mention that. When we're having an argument about something you did 3 years ago, because you spoke to a girl.
What do you mean you thought of other women, Jake? What do you mean?
What do you mean? What? You've come out your mum's back passage? What are you doing? He deserves a lot of credit because he's so good at what he does, and I film with a lot of people, and a lot of people, when they come on this channel, they get a lot of stick. And the people I get on are good people and good at what they do. But that is down for, I think, the standard that he sets. That when they maybe not, they're always asking for him back, which I think says. So, Jake, let's give him a bit of credit. Yeah.
God, I feel sick.
I feel sick.
Do you want to go for a shower, Ben?
I feel violated. But no.
I appreciate that, mate. And there's a reason you're at 18,000 subscribers nearly. Genuinely.
Well, huge update.
Are we telling them now?
Shall we do it?
Right, it's your channel, mate. It's your.
Let's do it. 7 years. I'd just like to say thank you very much. It's over. Look, it's over. Cod's Vlogs has been here since 2018, I believe. Fleetwood vlog, home and away, every game, videos after video, but it's gone. I'd just like to thank you all for your support over the last few years. It's been class. As we move on to a new channel name, go on the boy, Ben Natman EFL from tomorrow. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't enjoy covering Fleetwood anymore. I'm just going to be as simple and say it. I don't enjoy it. I like the odd vlog away from home. I like that. I don't have the same thingy of I want to be at every game. But yesterday I did commentary. I really loved it. Not having a camera in my face. And I love doing this show. I love doing my League One videos. I love doing League Two. And I don't want to be known for that kid from Fleet, which I'll always be known for. I don't like it. And I want to broaden out. I want to talk about EFL. And I want to give myself a platform. So basically, Ben Natman EFL. What's changing? Nothing. Basically, you're still going to have me doing the same stuff. there'll probably be less Fleetwood content. There's minimal of it anyway. Like I said, I went yesterday. There was no vlog. I'm going to be next week. There's going to be no vlog. I just don't see the point of COD's vlogs. There's no Fleetwood vlogs really anymore. So yeah, there's the announcement for you. So yeah, welcome back to COD's vlogs. Well, this is the last show. Is COD's vlogs? It's the end of an era, Jake.
Rest in peace, COD's vlogs. It's been an absolute pleasure to be part of the COD's vlogs community. But no, Ben Knackman EFL. It's smart. It's professional. It will. You imagine sometimes when you go up for things, people will say, "Oh, he's Ben Knackman it's Ben from Ben Knackman EFL." Do you know what I mean? That just sounds a bit more smarter, maybe when you're on the radio and things like that. So yeah, I fully back your decision, mate. And I'll have to change my Twitter bio to say I'm now part of the Ben Knackman EFL channel.
Is it actually part of your Twitter bio?
No, it's not.
That's a say. I'll be honest with you, my heart is still in Fleetwood away vlogs now and again. But if you said to me now, would I rather go into a commentary, like even with Phil for FTFC playing, even like we're on Lancashire yesterday, I'd rather do that. I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. And it's nice still. And look, I was worried. I am worried still that the channel's not going to grow. I'm worried about that. But I'm hoping that these shows can still grow and we can still bring people in. But yeah, nothing's changing. In fact, there's probably going to be more content now because I've got to actually do a midweek video to make up for it.
And you've also got another league to take on if you're going to.
Yeah, well, I'm not enjoying that because it's tough at the minute. I enjoy it, but I kind of take the knock on that.
Hold on. I say another league. I mean another club because you've got your Blue Nose.
I'm not covered them for a bit. I've not said anything about them. Because they lost to Leicester, so I thought it's not worth mentioning.
Oh, it's not.
It is. Yeah. But no, a big thank you for everyone that's watched. If you could like, subscribe, and all that jazz as we try and keep the channel alive. Now COD's Vlogs is gone, so if you could subscribe, it would mean a lot. Big thank you to Jake. I appreciate it, mate.
Thank you, mate. I've enjoyed it as ever. Looking forward to a 2-hour show next week when we're at 12 games.
Yeah. Well, look. COD's Vlogs is over. However, Ben Knackman EFL is still a there was a handbill. COD's Vlogs is not going anywhere. Ooh. There we are. Thanks for watching all. Please give us a like and subscribe on your way out. I'll be back in the week with a League One video, midweek probably or so. And then we'll be back here next Sunday, 14th of September, after I've run an ultra marathon, because I'm running one of them on Friday. So, all being well, I cover the distance okay. Love you lots. Goodbye.
See you next week.
Up the Ben Knackman EFL.
Yeah. At least try and be convincing with it, Ben.
I know. Every week. You looking forward to seeing this man next week, Jake?
Yeah, he's going to get sent off.
Lincoln win 1-0.
Is anything? You got anything else, mate?
Yeah, I've run a marathon.
Oh my god!
I don't think I have anything else. I'm trying to find something. I can't find anything. I'm trying to find a table of some sorts. Oh, I've got one. Lincoln got to the playoffs. Look at this. Remember that the season that Lincoln got to the playoffs? Look at that. They can't possibly not get playoffs in that position, surely.
Where were Fleetwood the same season?
They're not on that graphic, mate.
There's a reason for that.
I don't support Fleetwood anymore, mate. There's a reason I'm changing COD's Vlogs. I am an imp. I'm an imp, mate. Bye all!